Maybe ask yourself, should you stay in your job or should you leave? All right. And that is pretty tough. So hopefully by the end of this video, you will glean something, some kind of strategy to make that determination if you should stay in your job or if you should leave. You see, every week someone asks me, should I quit my job? My answer almost always surprises them. I tell them something like, I really don't know. You should know. Because quitting should never be your first emotional reaction. Neither, honestly, should staying forever, to be honest. And wisdom requires assessment of the situation before action. So today I'm giving you a framework that can help you decide whether your workplace relationship needs patience, repair, boundaries, or just a new beginning. So let's look at, various type of frictions we experience in our relationship in the workplace. So let's begin here. Conflict. Conflict doesn't automatically mean dysfunction, by the way. And research on leader-member exchange shows even high-quality workplace relationships experience disagreement. Healthy relationships do recover. Now, unhealthy relationships deteriorate. So I recommend you ask yourself something like, when conflict happens, does trust eventually return? Or does every disagreement leave the relationship weak? This is in your current situation. Because that's an important distinction, all right? Now, I'm going to introduce you to a Thrive assessment to actually help you make that decision. I want you to evaluate your relationship honestly with your colleague or your manager. So score each category from 1 to 10. T is about trust. So ask yourself, can you speak honestly without fear of humiliation? The letter H is honor. Are both you and your manager respectful even during disagreement? R, responsibility. Do both people admit mistakes? Do you and your manager admit mistakes? Or is there blame always on one side? I is influence. Can your ideas be heard or are they dismissed before they are considered? All right. V for vision. Does your manager help you understand why your work matters? So make sure you're scoring this 1 to 10. Now, E for encouragement. Do you leave interactions with your manager feeling equipped to grow or constantly defeated? Now ask yourself this. Which score reflects a skill gap? Which reflects a personality difference? Which reflects a value conflict? Those require very different responses. So that was a Thrive assessment, and I'll put it in the description below as well. Now let's look at 3 types of workplace problems. Not every problem belongs in the same category. For example, category 1 is skill problems, right? Your manager isn't communicating clearly, for instance, or you haven't clarified your expectations. These can often be improved through conversation and coaching. Category 2, style problems. See, you might prefer collaboration and your manager prefers independence. These often require adaptation, my friends. Category 3, values problem. For example, values such as dishonesty, harassment, discrimination, retaliation, right? Abuse. Yes, abuse. These type of values require protection, documentation, and sometimes leaving the environment. One of the biggest mistakes employees make is treating every disagreement as a values issue or treating genuine ethical violations as if they're just personality differences. Wisdom means recognizing the difference. Very, very important. Now let's look at what the Bible tells us. In the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, it reminds us that there is a time for everything. There really is. There's a time to quit, there's a time to stay. All right. And sometimes the right response is perseverance. Sometimes the right response is courageous change. Even Moses in the Bible listened to Jethro, his father-in-law's advice in the book of Exodus, chapter 18, because unhealthy leadership structures were exhausting everyone involved, including Moses. And see, God values healthy leadership because leadership affects people. In the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 23, says, it reminds us to work wholeheartedly for the Lord. That means basically pursuing excellence wherever we are, but it does not require accepting unethical treatment. So, as we close, I want to leave you with one thought. A fulfilling career isn't built by chasing the perfect manager. It's built by learning to recognize the difference between a relationship that needs better communication and one that needs healthier boundaries, and one that cannot support your growth because it violates trust, integrity, or dignity. The goal isn't simply to just find a job where you're comfortable. The goal is to help you create a workplace where people can flourish, including you, where your managers lead with wisdom, employees contribute with excellence, and work becomes more than a paycheck. It becomes a place where trust is built, characters defined, and people genuinely enjoy working together. If this really helped you, let me know by giving me a thumbs up, and certainly let me know what you thought in the comment section. Feel free to share with your colleagues. And if you haven't subscribed, get subscribed. I will see you in the next episode.